Hey Blake, here is the instructions for this week for getting ready to actually meet in person for next Saturday. So I'm gonna just point out a couple of things real quick to you. So in the shared Google Drive, you should have access to the ED536Week3OHWinter2021 shared drive. And so the other students that are in the campus-based group have done more in this folder than you, but this is where we will kind of have a place to share things and interact in another space. So under week 3 online, you'll find this PowerPoint, and that is kind of going to give you an overview of what we're covering in class on Saturday. So you can take a look at that. And then for this week coming up, some things that I want you to get prepared for is we are going to be doing a STEM activity in class. And so there's some materials that I want you to get prepared for. So a couple of places you'll be able to find this information. If you go into our Canvas class and you click on the STEM class activity, it has a list of things that I want you to just gather as many of these things as you have available at your house. Something that's going to be really important is you will need some water and a baking pan, like a square or pie pan, or like one made used for cakes. So it needs to be deep, probably at least an inch or two deep, so you can fill it with some water. And then you will need some kind of oil. So vegetable oil, cooking oil works. If you have motor oil, that would be okay too, except that's a little harder to dispose of. And then the rest of these, just gather as many of these things as you have available to you. And we'll use those in our STEM activity in week 3. So that's the big thing we're going to talk about. We're going to go over the projects for the class. And that will include for the graduate students your professional development project. We'll talk about the STEM activities you did, the vignettes you read and assessed using the matrix. Some research that I asked you to do looking at different STEM related articles. And then we'll do the class activity. We'll talk about the STEM unit that you're going to create. I know you mentioned in your backwards design form, you did some good research on backwards design and started thinking about your STEM unit. So we're going to look at that a little more and thinking about the standards that you have to identify going forward into next week and beginning your backwards design. And then I'm also going to talk a little more about the technology project for this term and ask you to begin to think about choices for that and how that's going to integrate with your STEM unit. And I'm also going to showcase a couple of cool STEM technology applications. And we'll talk a little bit again about engagement. I'll keep harping on that because that's such an important part of teaching three-dimensionally using NGSS. And then we'll wrap up and talk about what to do for the week coming forward. So that's our agenda for this week. Looks like you're keeping up okay, maybe getting really busy with your clinical site, but hopefully I would say if there's anything you can do this week that would be helpful for our in-class activities is to talk to your clinical teacher, and if you haven't already, and identify the science content that you might be using. You'll be doing your 7 to 10 lessons this term that you have to design and plan. And if you can kind of get an idea of at least the standard or standards that you'll be addressing during that unit, and then that will be useful in discussing how to really double dip and align the STEM unit with what you're doing in your clinical site. So that is really it. I'm excited to see you for the first time this term, and the Zoom link should be on our Canvas page, and I'll see you at 8:30 on Saturday. Hope you're having a good weekend, and I'll see you soon.